Hey, it's Korinn, 365 Days of Open Heart Living, Day 79, Emotional Diversity. So we have been touching upon the 4 dimensions of our human beingness. We've talked about the physical dimension, we've talked about the spiritual dimension, and now we're entering into the emotional dimension and talking about that for the next 5 days. Being an emotional being is a huge part of being human. We have emotions. If we don't allow ourselves to feel our emotions or express them, then it blocks us, point blank. We have to allow the emotional flow of our bioelectric makeup as a human being, because that flow intersects and combines with physical, spiritual, and mental as well to make up the fullness in your whole beingness. Emotions are very important. We have many dimensions of being emotional. We have an array of different emotions: joy, sadness, anger, surprise, frustration, excitement. The list goes on and on and on. Because it is how do I want to put this? Emotions are the cornerstone of what make us a living, breathing human being. If we didn't have emotions, then the structure of how we are and how we live would be completely different. Just think about it. What are the things that motivate you in life? They have a motivation because there's an emotional tie to them. If you are somebody who's motivated to make other people happy, if you're a people pleaser, there's an emotional tie to that, that you feel the push-pull of being motivated to please others or to give of yourself. If you have motivation to complete your education, there is an emotional component to that. Maybe your sense of confidence is something that emotionally is developed and built and made stronger within your pursuit to accomplish your goal of earning a degree and building a career. The emotional pursuit of relationships is something that also is a part of us being social beings, because that emotional need to give love and feel loved, to be accepted, to give acceptance, it is a natural part of your wiring, because it is an emotional part of yourself. We can't deny the humanness in our feelings. The heart is the emotional touch point of being human. And when we allow ourselves to feel our emotions, no matter if they're positive or negative, we allow the heart to be open. We allow the energy of the heart to flow. It is cathartic to feel your sadness, to allow yourself to experience that wholeness of being in your sadness. And on the other end of allowing yourself to feel your emotions, there comes the exhale of life. And then the inhale, taking up the energy of living through the hard moments and of feeling something within yourself that is raw and real, and that continues to have a sense within itself of purpose and awareness. Yeah. Emotions are very diverse. Our emotional diversity is what colors our life, what colors how we choose to live. If there are emotions that we avoid, that too is something that shows up in how we are and how we choose to live. We might avoid being in relationship with others because of feeling like we can't deal with certain emotions. We might be complete assholes in different areas of our life, maybe at work, because we can't emotionally process through something that is hard, or we can't be emotionally honest with ourselves and maybe admit that we're really kind of not as great as what we build ourselves up to appear to be on the outside. Sometimes when people are assholes, it comes from an inner lack, an emotional lack that they feel within themselves that they're incapable of expressing. And so the inner angst that doesn't align with kind of what they are on the outside to how they feel on the inside gets expressed through anger, frustration, pointedness, blame, finger pointing. And that is, it's hard to admit, but it's a truth that needs to be acknowledged, because your emotional needs are what cause you to be reactive or responsive in your life. And when your emotional needs are not being met, it colors everything. How you feel about yourself, how you feel about other people, how you feel about your work, your job, how you feel in general. There is diversity in our emotional needs. There's variety in our emotional expression. And as human beings, we need to be able to express the variety of emotions when they come up, not like a loose cannon, like just blowing up all over the place. We need to have accountability and responsibility in trying to kind of be aware enough that our emotional variety has some maturity to it, so that it is not a dagger's edge moving out into the world and wreaking havoc in other people's emotional well-being. Being honest with how you feel and expressing it openly and safely is what can give you the stability to feel your heart open and allow yourself to accept how you feel and being able to express yourself. And when you accept how you feel emotionally, you have greater acceptance for yourself. And that branches out into having greater acceptance for life and people and the world. And the shortcomings that are a part of life and people in the world, it does not cause you to have a negative outpouring that then perpetuates emotional chaos. Instead, expression, when there's openness of the heart and awareness and a layer of maturity in all of that, it becomes a tool for growth. Because we all have bad days. We all have bad moments. We all make bad decisions. And those things have an emotional undertone that, when addressed and seen for what they are, can empower you to live true to how your heart really is designed to be. Go ahead and close your eyes. Breathe in and out. Breathe in and out. Breathe in and out. And affirm with me by repeating, I am an emotional being. I allow myself to feel my emotions. I know that it is healthy to express my emotions. I know that in the expression of my emotions, I become more aware of myself. And in becoming more aware of myself, my heart opens. And I'm able to experience greater acceptance of myself. And I'm able to be more in alignment with that which is contained in the core of my heart. Place your attention in your heart center and feel your heart now. And repeat after me. My emotions are the expression of my heart. And the more stable and open my heart is allowed to become through expressing myself, the more my light shines into the world in beautiful ways. My emotions are an energy, and when I allow them to flow, my energy expands. Feel the energy of your heart. And just ask yourself, what emotion am I feeling right now? As you label it, I want you to also feel it. Feel what that emotion feels like in your body. It has an energetic effect on your whole being. And just sit with that emotion, observing it openly with no need to change it or do anything about it. Just acknowledge its presence and feel what that emotion feels like in this moment to you. And breathe in and breathe out. If the emotion that you're feeling right now has a little bit of stuckness in it, and you're feeling some tension or pressure, allow yourself to go into that physical feeling of the emotional holding and just feel it. Mm. And that's a beautiful thing, because when we let go of what the emotion is and we just open to how it feels, we give it room to move. The energy of the feeling sense is governed by the heart. And as you feel in your heart energy center, the holding of the emotion in the moment, the openness allows movement. There's resistance in holding on to that emotion in the dimension of labeling it as an emotion and the mental description of it as well. But when we just feel it, the emotion lightens. Because we're connecting those two dimensions of emotion and body, and the flow of the bioelectric energy of emotion is being allowed to shift in the physical energy, that it also takes up a space in your body. Your body houses your emotions. Allow them, feel them, and they too will move through you, through the energetic passageway that is awareness. Feel yourself now. What emotion would you label yourself to be feeling in this moment now, after the energy shift? And when you're ready, open your eyes. Our emotional diversity is its own pocket of emotion, and all the branches that are any emotion that we can feel as a human being. But our emotional diversity spreads over our whole beingness and connects into the physical self, the mental, and the spiritual self as well. And as we just experienced, there's passageways and openings and an ability to allow and something that is tense in one dimension of our being to be released and relaxed in a complementary dimension of our being. There's a book called The Body Keeps the Score, I believe it's called, and it's all about how the physical body holds traumas, holds emotions, and the physical body can be a true space of healing the emotional self. And this is a real piece of our emotional diversity, because sometimes in needing to have emotional expression and emotional healing, we need to just feel it. Feel it emotionally, feel it physically, feel it mentally, even feel it spiritually, non-physically, what it does to our energetic body. And in the gift that is your emotional self, in the beautiful branches of all the different emotions that you can feel, is the answer to being human in this life. Because if you do not express yourself, you stunt your growth as a human being, and you stunt your flow physically for health. You stunt your growth mentally for advancement and intelligence. There's such a thing as emotional intelligence. And you stunt your spirit from expanding as well. So while emotions are incredibly diverse and they can be accessed in diverse ways, they must come alive in you. And you must live your heart and what your heart feels, so that you may fully come into alignment with that which is your spiritual calling in this life. So don't be afraid of your emotions and live your heart.